amazing, spectacular tea people. Welcome to another random middle-aged guy on his back porch tea. So today I'm going to drink, so I got it in my pocket, good. I'm going to drink some of this because I'm feeling like this. This is a really, really, really good fall tea. This is the fall Alpine honey. And so I'm going to drink this, and it's really quite a nice tea. And we'll talk about this tea a little bit. We can talk about tariff stuff, although that's kind of boring. We can talk about it. Nothing's changed for Taiwan anyways. And somebody asked me an absolutely amazing question, right? Somebody asked me just an amazing question, which will take our mind off of the news cycle. It'll hopefully take our mind off the news cycle. And what tea do you enjoy at what time of day? Or is there a correlation between what types of tea you enjoy at what time of day? Stuff like that, which I thought was a really good question, right? That's a pretty good question. So we'll get into that as well. And we'll talk about other things. If you have any other questions, just throw them out there and we can talk about all the various things that you might want to talk about in the tea world. The stuff that's happening right now for tea. Thank you to everybody who has bought tea over the last couple days. You are keeping the lights on for Mountain Stream Teas. And when I say you're keeping the lights on for Mountain Stream Teas, we're okay, right? I've had some really nice emails. One person in particular has done the research into DHL. Actually, more than one person did the research into DHL and was like, you can do this and you can do that. And it's wildly expensive, but you can do it. Like, it's just crazy, crazy expensive, but it's okay. And I'm just sort of like, yes, but why don't we just give it a little bit of time? Right? Why don't we just give it a little bit of time? It's not like it's an emergency. It's not like I am forced to make choices that are not the best for myself, my family, and you wonderful people out there who support Mountain Stream Teas and buy the tea. It's not an emergency. It's not an emergency. And so because it's not an emergency, I say we can just wait, right? If we're going to spend $800 shipping a big package of tea to the United States because of this idiotic tariff situation, you know what? Why don't we just wait? Right? Why don't we just wait? Why don't we just see what happens? Why don't we just go over? We wait until October, right? We wait until October, and then we see what happens in October, and then from October, we can make more educated choices. We can make better choices for ourselves, for the tea community. Remember, this is not just Mountain Stream Teas that's going through this situation. It's basically the entire world. The United States is down for postal packages 81%. 81% in the last couple weeks, right? 81%. Now, I don't know if you've been following the news cycle. Behind me, there are F-16s. They usually come in around this time of day. So you can see them right there. There's the F-16 going through, right? Don't worry about it. F-16s are normal. We're nothing. This is when they come in for their coffee breaks after their morning flights. The news cycle obviously is a little bit much right now. But we're just drinking tea. We're drinking tea this morning. And as you can see, it's actually really a beautiful morning here on the east coast of Taiwan. It's finally fall weather. It's finally fall weather. And you see it? Yep, there it is. There we go, F-16s. Anyways, the question today. So we'll talk about the tea, which is the fall. Usually I drink teas that are not actually released yet. So today I'm actually doing a better job. I'm drinking a tea that is released and that everybody can buy if you're not in the United States. or in some other countries. What was I going to say? Actually, right now, I can't ship to the United States, but Taiwan just opened up Ukraine. So I can't ship tea to the United States, but I can ship tea to the Ukraine right now, although that'll probably go away in the next couple of days as well. Anyways, the world is, like I said, the world is a little bit crazy at the moment, but let's just drink tea. So what do we got here? This tea is from a relatively new friend. So last year in October, I'm going again this year. The first weekend in October, I'm really, really, really looking forward to it. We're going to be going to the tea show in Nantou, and I'm taking a guest with me, so I get to go with my wonderful wife. She's quite excited about it. Although she's, she likes tea, but she's not like super into tea. But she's actually quite looking forward to it. I don't know why. Anyways, I'm going to do a big thing about the tea show, and I'll put it on the interwebs and things like that. I'll have a camera person to help me out this time. And I met him. I was just going through the tea things, right? I was going through at the fair, whatever. There's this huge tent. In the tent, there's literally hundreds upon hundreds of farmers and farms, and some people are just big companies. Some people are usually at that show. It's usually just like farmers. It's just their farm usually. And my cat wants a drink. I apologize if you hear the annoying cat over there. She only drinks fresh water. Anyways, and there's nobody else home right now, so she's very lonely. And I was going through, and then I sampled some of his oolong, and his oolong was decent. Organic gardens. The oolong was decent, but it wasn't like blew me away. And then I sampled some of his white tea, blew me away. I was like, what is this? How much do you have? I'm buying all of it. And I bought all of it, which was only a little bit. I think there was only maybe a kilogram of it. And last year I released it as Alpine white. And I said to him, listen, next year, make a white tea. If it's this good, I'm buying all of it. And and he got in touch with me when I was in Canada. And then I tried his tea. I said, I'm buying all of it. So I bought his entire production run of the Alpine white, which is released now. Oh, you can buy that one too. And as long as you're not in the States. And this is actually better than the Full Pear Mountain. It's actually better than the Full Pear Mountain this year. Anyways, but I'll talk about this in a second. What happened? He got in touch with me. He sent me that. So I got all that. And then he started sending me samples of all his different sort of production runs. And so we got the Alpine red honey and this one, the Alpine fall honey. I mixed up the two names. Anyways, whatever. I'm not good with names. And so I got the Alpine series of tea, which I released on Sunday. And lots of people have bought. Thank you very much. Again, you're keeping the lights on while we're waiting for the idiotic tariff situation to be figured out. And this beautiful tea is the fall honey. And why is it called honey? Of course, because it's been bug bitten. Is this garden going to be bug bitten every single year? Is it always going to be this good? I have no idea. Now, last year from my friend up in Jade Mountain, he sent me this beautiful tea that was bitten by bugs. It was called, what did I call it? High Mountain Beauty. And people have been asking me about that tea for a long time. This year, it didn't get made. His patch of organic garden just didn't have the bugs. And so I just actually bought his fall stuff. His fall stuff's usually a little bit later. So I just bought a bunch of it because it was really, really decent, really, really good, well-rounded High Mountain Oolong for a really, really cheap price. An organic High Mountain Oolong for a really, really cheap price. So I bought a bunch of it. So it's going to be like, the affordable daily drinker type of High Mountain Oolong. Just really, really good and really, really cheap. So I bought a bunch of it. And This one here, this tea, has been bitten by bugs, but it's not higher oxidized, right? The beauty teas are higher oxidized, right? But this is not higher oxidized. And because it's not higher oxidized, what you're getting is just sort of a bug-bitten high mountain oolong type of experience, which is, rare and unique and blah, 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 blah. And this one just worked out really, really, really well. And I'm so happy to be able to get 3 of these teas in, because this guy, I never finished telling the story, but anyways, I met him. I'm going through, I'm drinking his teas, and his booth, there's no pictures. There's like a shelf, and there's like no names anywhere. And he's just like, like going like this, with all this stuff in the background. He's like, whoa, 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 like serving people tea. He's not polished, right? He's not one of these people that are like, like here you go, here's my, like yeah, sample my tea, please. Like somebody does that to me, I'm like, I'm paying the polite premium, and so I'm just sort of like, okay, I'll sample your tea, but it's nice, but the best possible thing, the best tea at the best price, where everybody gets happy, right? Because they're not polished, they obviously have much lower costs. Remember, organic gardens have lower costs in general. Anyways, we can get into that discussion if people are curious about it. Just let me know. His booth was just crazy, and he was all over the place. And I think I'm going to put a post about it. I've talked about this, but I say, how do I pay you? Remember, how do I pay all the people that I buy tea from? I pay directly to the farmers. And so there was something funny. It was like Indian tea production is absolutely brutal. The amount of hands and places that Indian tea goes through in general, right? There's exceptions, but in general, is just insane. And the teas that get to the Western world, it's just insane. But for me, you guys send me money. It goes from my bank account directly to the farmer's bank account. There's no intermediary. There's nobody in between. There's nothing like different people getting their hands. It's literally 1, 2, 3. And for me, the prices are directly correlated to which type of bank they use in Taiwan. So if they're using the rich people bank, like the rich people bank, then I know that the tea is just going to be more expensive. If they are using the farmers co-ops, then the prices will be a little bit lower. But if they're using the postal service bank account, Taiwan Post bank account, that's when everybody is happy. Because I literally sometimes I'll pay extra, and it goes directly to the farmer, and and they're happy because they sell a bunch of tea, and then they get the cash in their bank account. And I'm happy because I get a tea that's a really good price that I can share for a really good price all over the world. And and so when I'm sending them to the Taiwan Post bank account, then I know that everybody's going to be happy all through the chain, right? People, the farmer's going to be happy. I'm going to be happy. The people getting the tea eventually are going to be happy with a really great price on the tea. And his bank account, like he sent me his Taiwan Post bank book, because I directly send it to the, I just do it that way. And it was old and scruffy and dirty and like, like it was, I was just like, oh, this is going to be some really, really good, clean tea for a great price. And that's what this is. And so this is bitten by bugs. You've got, this year was really, really hot in the high mountains and hot and wet. And so this beautiful tea is like really, really strong up front, warm, high mountain vegetal. Mid-mouth is wide. It's decent. It doesn't have the wide mid-mouth of like the Pear Mountains or really high elevation stuff, but it's really, really good. And then the aftertaste is wild honey with a touch of floral in it. This year, the Pear Mountain, the High Mountain Pear Mountain, it doesn't have the honey, but it's got this really good sort of almost mango sweetness to it. Really, really beautiful fruit. And really warm all the way through. It's just warm and stronger. Last year got a little bit washed out. This year's is stronger. But this one I prefer just because it's got much more of a rare flavor to it. That bug bitten teas in the higher elevations are rare. That's just it, right? So the bugs, generally speaking, go up about 1,200 meters and below. You get bugs consistently, and this garden is right on the edge. It's a little bit higher than that, and so you're not getting bug bites consistently. Although there's been a lot of bug bites on this tea. Like even just going through it, I can see the bug bites here. When they fully open up, I'll show you some of the bug bites. Here's actually one right here I can show you. I'll take that out, show you some bug bites. And it's rare to be able to get this flavor coming off of the High Mountain oolongs. And like I said, the Jade Mountain this year didn't have it. Jade Mountain didn't have it, but these guys did. And I'm really happy to be able to share this tea at the price that I can share it at. I mean, I keep thinking about all that. Like, I do, and I shouldn't. Right? Comparison is the root of suffering. And I'm like, some of the teas that I offer at the price points that I offer is just crazy. It's crazy. I could sell this tea for way more money. I could put on my robe and call myself something else. And anyways, that will never happen. That will never happen. That will never, ever, ever, ever happen. But this tea is for sale right now, as long as you're not American. And yeah, this hasn't opened up enough. Anyways, I'm going to put it back in because I want to drink it. Because that looks like it's been bitten by the leaf hoppers. So the wonderful and amazing question that I got, this time I got a couple other ones, and I answered those. So the one I'm going to cover on this live stream is, what type of tea do you prefer at what time of the day? And that's a great question. Now, obviously, I'm going to preface this with saying every single person in the world is different, right? Every single person in the world is different. And by no means is this a value judgment, or by no means is this anything other than what I prefer. It's the internet. I've got to say that. Although I must say, the amount of negative comments I get for live streams is relatively few, knock on wood. So anyways, it's just me. Now, for me, I probably also shouldn't say this, but I will. I like coffee in the morning. Now, I drink coffee when I wake up, and that's it. Just one cup of coffee. That's it. It wakes me up. Anyways, we'll forget about that for a second. But from 10 a.m. on, what I would say is, if I'm working, always green oolongs. Always, 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 always green oolongs. That's my thing. When I'm working, and I've heard it many times, I send tea to quant shops all the time, which is hilarious, because there's not very many people in the world who knows how they work and what they are and all that sort of stuff. But because of the strange life that I've had, I know what a quant shop is, and so I know these places. I know how these places work, and I send so much tea to these places, and I'm just like, what a strange name. Look it up. Wow. Wow. How many billions under management? Anyways, so just so you know, the greenish oolongs are really, really appreciated by a lot of these types of deep, like flow state type of folks in the financial industry. And so I send a lot of tea to them, and I really, really enjoy it. Like, so I get a lot of this tea sent to those types of places. And I find that the greenish oolongs, the high mountain oolongs, are basically perfect, just perfect for deep thinking, deep thought type of work. And so most of the day, if I have a choice in the mornings, certainly before 2 o'clock, I'll be drinking the greenish oolongs. Again, F16's coming in, totally normal, blah, blah, blah. But that's why you tune into the guy on his back porch, right? You got to see the F16s, got to make sure everything's normal. Right? And everything is normal in Taiwan, thankfully. Right? Starting around after lunch, I go into the darker oolongs or sort of the black teas, as I find that their sort of caffeine kick is less intense, and so not including Ruby 18. I rarely drink Ruby 18. It's just too much because I'm usually well caffeinated to begin with. But that would be the honey fragrance blacks, the red oolongs, and things like that. I'll be starting to drink those types of teas going into. I'll be drinking those types of teas going into the afternoon. And for me, because I'm pretty sensitive to caffeine, 3:34 done, no caffeine, and that's when I go to the tisane. So you're looking at the herbal tea. So it would be something like basically right now, because it's so damn hot, I don't drink a lot of teas in the evenings. But in the wintertime, small leaf chrysanthemums, more rarely actually quite rarely, because I'm also susceptible to those, is the lotus flower. I got to go get more lotus flowers. And so the lotus flowers and things like that. So that's what happens with with those types of things. So that would be the answer to that question of what types of tea do you drink at different types of the day? Excuse me. What about you? So what is that sort of the same thing that you're going on with? Generally speaking, sort of the cha chi teas that have like a stronger cha chi that are giving you like deep thought or sort of sometimes psychedelic tea drunkenness, things like that. I usually only drink those teas on special occasions. So I don't drink those teas regularly. In fact, I barely drink those teas, like if ever. Very, very rarely. Mostly because I'm just so intensely caffeinated most of the time that adding that in without a good reason throws me for a loop. Just just takes me out. And so, yeah. Hope that answers that question. And yeah, so one of the reasons why I enjoy these teas so much and sort of the higher elevation teas is because they just last forever. They just last forever. And you can see, I don't know how long I've been going with this. This was about 5 or 6 grams. It's been going a long time, and it'll keep going for a long time. And the first steep is more vegetal. The second steep is sweeter. And now we're getting into that really special floral. In general, I start out with brighter teas. Yep, and I think that's the very common. I mean, what do people use for like deep work stuff? What works for you for sort of the deep work stuff? Anyways, as you keep going with the steeps on this tea, the floral pops out, and it's a really, 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 really beautiful floral. And that sort of pops out on the third steep, fourth, fifth steep, as you keep going with this tea, pops out, and it's gorgeous. It really is. It's really, really, really beautiful. It's anyways, I think I prefer this to the Fall Pear Mountain. Not saying anything bad about the Fall Pear Mountain, of course, never. But I do enjoy what happens with the. I do enjoy what happens with the bug bites in the aftertaste. The further along in the steeps you get, it really is fun. It's just sweet and floral and beautiful as these things go. We can talk a little bit about the unfortunateness stuff. Tariffs are, there's still absolutely no word. With our contacts at the post office, you want to hear something funny? So Hollion's a small town, but it's not a small town. It's like 100,000 people. It's a big enough town. And there's only one post office that we can go to send out our tea because it's a little bit unique, right? The local post offices don't know what the hell to do with our boxes sending to all over the world, all the various places. And so we actually have a couple people that sort of deal with us specifically. And what happened was when all of this started happening, our friend at the post office was like, I got a call from the regional manager, right? So the East Coast manager of the postal service, right? So like high up, and they phoned him up and was like, what the hell happened? Why are you shipping less tea? And they were like asking what the hell happened, because they could see like we spent a lot of money on shipping, like a huge amount of money on shipping. And so they could see this, right? And they actually phoned up the local, like the big main post office in Hualien City, because that's the only place we can go. It's like, what the hell happened? Our revenues are down, like blah, 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 blah. And so, we have people who are on our side at the post office. We have people, if you can imagine that, we have people who are watching out for us, for lack of a better way of saying it. At the post office, they're literally watching out for us. And what happened was, that we're getting the news before anybody else because they want us to start sending tea again, because they're literally losing huge amounts of money because we can't send tea. So much so that, like directors of the post office are again phoning our friends at the post office. And so basically what they've said is very, very Taiwanese. They're waiting for 5 countries to figure this stupid shit out. 5 countries. And so they will copy whatever the 5th country does. So they're waiting for 5 countries to figure this stupid shit out. Remember, there's 190 countries that don't know what the hell to do with shipping to the United States. It's so stupid. It's so out there. It's so like 81% drop in shipping to the United States in the past 2 weeks. It's so insane that Taiwan's like, they've got their blueprint. They're waiting for the 5th country, and then they copy whatever the 5th country does. And so we've got our first country. So Australia is opening up on September the 25th, maybe earlier. And so they're going to be starting to ship packages back to the United States on September the 25th. And so only 4 more countries, and then whatever the 5th country does, we copy. So we have a plan. We have a timeline. We have something that is coming, right? So we have it. We have it coming. And so fear not, you wonderful, amazing, spectacular American tea people. You will be able to get your teas. You will be able to get your teas. It will happen. Do not worry. It will happen. And it's actually quite funny. Really, I mean, it's so funny. I mean, it's tragic comedy. But that will happen. So the people, the irony is I should be doing these live streams in the evening Taiwan time when all the people that can actually buy the tea are well, it's Canadians. I apologize to Canadians, but the Europeans are all asleep right now. But anyways, we have a plan. It's out there, and I've gotten, again, amazing emails from really supportive, wonderful people who are saying, trying to help me figure this out. DHL is doing this. DHL is doing that. Um, there's a box you can send for $800. And I know the box, the DHL box. It's like this big. I think it's like a cubic meter or something like. No, that's small. I can't remember how big the box is. And it's 2 cubic kilograms. So you can fit a lot of tea in that, right? And they would ship it to Taiwan, from Taiwan to the US for $800. It's not worth it, guys. It's okay. We'll get through this. It'll be fine, right? It'll be fine. I like I've said before, I planned for this for years. We've got a year runway. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. And we'll all do it together. And thank you so much for all the people in the different countries who are keeping the Mountain Stream Teas lights on. You're doing it, and I appreciate it greatly. But for our American friends, it's okay. How do you store? You get them? Hey, good question. So how do you store the teas after you get them? Depends on the tea. If there is a tea that is, say, for example, like I just sampled some of the, like you guys remember, I got in the sample of the Chile Black earlier, and I drank it, and I was like, it's not as good as last year. Well, I just drank it again yesterday, and it's still not as good as last year, but it's still really good. Like it's really, really, really good. And so if it's a tea like that I want to age quickly, I've got shelves going up to the ceiling in the room with the tea, and I'll stick it on the top shelf in a corner where it's hottest. And obviously everything's sealed, right? I will not vacuum seal it in the sense of like taking all the air out with those. I'll just stick them on the top shelf where it's hot. And I want that to have like accelerated aging, because I want that to do well. The roasted teas, the Old Master Dong Dings and things like that, I will stick them in the same room, but I'll stick them on the bottom shelf, and I'll just wait for them to age into what's going on for them. The white teas, I will stick in sort of the packing room. And so there will be most of the time when it's really, really hot, there will be air conditioning on them. And so they'll have air conditioning most of the time for the whiter teas and the older black teas. And the teas that don't need a lot of age. So like a fresh Ruby 18, they'll be in there. For the teas that are really, really, really sensitive to heat, so you're looking at the greenish oolongs, well, basically just the greenish oolongs. The green oolongs or the green teas. I will take out a little bit, pack it up, and stick it in the air-conditioned room, and the rest of it goes in the fridge, either in the freezer or in the fridge. And I've got a lot of fridge space. And so I will keep it in the fridge during the hot summer months. And then usually in like November, I'll turn off the fridge and just store them regularly because it doesn't matter. But those types of teas, you do not want them, right? Those are vacuum sealed in the fridge. You do not want them to be above 20 degrees, right? That accelerates the aging, takes away the freshness of them. And in Taiwan, like indoors, if you don't have an air conditioning on, it's 40 degrees, 45 degrees, and like some days it's brutal. It's brutal because everything here, because of the typhoons and the earthquakes, everything's just a concrete bunker. And so that works really, really well if I want to age a tea fast, right? Top shelf. If it's roasted, I stick it on the bottom shelf where it's cool. And those age well. And then, like I said, the air-conditioned room, which is air conditioning like during the hot days, it's air-conditioned about 90% of the time. There might be a day on the weekend where nobody's around, and the temperatures might get up a little higher, but it's actually really rare. And so in that context, some of the greenish oolongs that have already been packed will get a little hot, but not for very long. And then the stuff that I want to keep longer, say, for example, the springtime teas, all of those are in either the freezer or the fridge, and they live there until it's time to pack them. and they come out. So there you go. So that's how I deal with the teas that come into the warehouse. Right? That's how I deal with the teas that come into the warehouse. And how you should store the teas, it totally depends on you. So just in a mason jar would be fine. Totally depends on the tea. If it's a mason jar in the context of like anything other than a greenish oolong, yeah, for sure. For a greenish oolong, if you want to keep it really, really, really fresh, like a greenish oolong, then Tupperware container, stick it in the fridge, and don't let it have wild temperature swings. So take it out, put it in your cup, put it back in the fridge. Perfect. It'll last fresh for like a long time, up to a year. You'll get that real beautiful freshness. Real beautiful freshness. And you'll keep that freshness for a really long time. And if you're not using it, right, if you're not drinking it, it's still vacuum sealed, throw it in the freezer. Just throw it in the freezer. It's fine. Now, people say, well, what happens when it changes temperature? It's gonna have dew. It's gonna get wet. Like, absolutely, 100%. That's why, for example, the stuff in the freezer, when you take it out, let it sit overnight so it becomes totally room temperature, then open it up. Remember, it's vacuum sealed. You're not getting any more moisture into it, right? And that's why I say if you got something, put it in a Tupperware container, stick it in the fridge, and then take it out, put it in your cup, put it back in, and the temperature change doesn't mess with your the taste of it at all. It doesn't get more moisture into it. But be very careful, right? The fridge is full of smells. It's full of smells. So like Tupperware or in a bag, or like make sure there's no smells going into your tea. But that works really, really well for keeping the tea fresh. For that, smell that you get in the fresh greenish oolongs. Works really, really well. Green teas. Throwing all my green teas in the fridge. Absolutely do it. Blacks in the freezer too. No, do not put darker teas into the fridge. Reddish oolongs might do well because sometimes you get that really beautiful freshness in the greener oolongs. Or sorry, the red oolong. So maybe like a Louis red, maybe, because sometimes when you get that fresh, it's beautiful. But black teas, no, don't. They don't do that well in the fridge, mostly because even if you vacuum seal them, they're not vacuum sealed like the greenish oolongs are, right? And so the black teas, I mean, I've never really tried sort of the putting them in and out thing. You might try that if you really want the freshness. But remember, with black teas, they only get really good after 6 to 8 months. 6 to 8 months to 3 years is the sweet spot for black teas. And so you actually want them to age a little bit. Whereas with the greenish oolongs, what's the sweet spot? Sweet spot is from the day they are made, 6, 8 months. That's a sweet spot. And so you want to keep those teas just like that, in that. And so the fridge helps a lot with that. There's exceptions, right? So this tea, for example, will age really, really well, right? Because it's got the bug bites. The staleness will be in there, but the staleness will be overcome by the aging of the bug bites. But after 2 years, 2 to 10 years, it's not going to taste as good as right now, right? The first 2 years will be great, and then after that, after 10 years, yeah, okay. But before then, no. What about the charcoal roasted Dong Ding Dragon's Eye? Come on. That one's easy. Stick them where you live. Do not stick them in the fridge ever. Keep them at room temperature where you are, right? Those things should be aged. They should be absolutely aged, right? You don't even really want to have them fresh. You want to have them after 6, 8 months. You want them aged. And have them around you, vacuum sealed in a corner somewhere, sucking up your chi, your As long as your chi's healthy, right? Your living space. Let them suck up you, right? Your vibrations, your voice, the music you listen to, what your house is. And then after it sucks it all up, it'll turn it into wonderful tastes and smells. And then you drink it as you go along, right? For sure. For sure, right? And those ones especially, you should have them sort of in a living space, but off to a side, right? Now, I went a little woo-woo. I apologize. I did go woo-woo for that one. But it's the truth. It's absolutely the truth, because those charcoal roasted ones, and I shouldn't have said it was easy. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. But those ones, they are both the most resilient and the most malleable at the same time, right? So even if you store those the wrong way, they're still going to be okay. It's like they don't get stale, for example. But if you store those the right way, because they're really good teas, they will become something so special, so amazing. You won't even believe it. It's sometimes I've had well-aged teas. In fact, I've had some on the site in past years, and the well-aged charcoal roasted teas there's nothing like them, right? They are such an experience. They're such an experience. They're amazing. And so airtight in your living space, sort of sucking up your chi. They're very, very resilient, but the more of everyone, and the more of the life force where they are that they can suck up, the better they taste. Was worried because sometimes it gets very hot at home in the summer and humid. Well, if it's hot, as long as it's out of the sun, it's not a big deal. But humid is the big one, right? If it's humid and those things are open, make sure that they're airtight. A Ziploc bag in a Tupperware container will probably do it, but like you'd probably need two, because everyone screws up, right? Everyone screws up. You make mistakes as you're storing your tea. Everybody does it. And if you have two different things, that's better, because you do not want any of the teas to be exposed to humidity. That's the real killer for the teas. You just don't want them humid ever, right? Just never humid. And the exception, of course, there's always an exception to that rule, is the first 3 to 5 years of post-fermented teas, like for example, because Taiwan, obviously, as you can see in my face, is wildly humid. They'll actually send teas from China to age them the first 3 to 5 years, the pressed cakes in Taiwan, because it just gives them that boost, right? It's so hot and so humid, especially in the Hualien area. They'll actually send teas to the Hualien area, big warehouses, and then they'll age them for 3 to 5 years, and then send them back to China, because it does so well for the first 3 to 5 years. But Taiwanese teas, no, you don't want any humidity at all, right? No humidity at all. But hotness for a couple months, it's okay for the charcoal roasted teas. It works fine. It absolutely works fine. It works. You're not going to destroy them or ruin them or anything like that with hot and humidity. But like I said, if you can, find a place where people are, stick it in the shelf, close the shelf, make sure there's no sun on it, and let it suck up the house if you want to, right? I don't know, maybe some people don't always have the best living conditions, and then you don't want to do that, and I shouldn't laugh about that. But you should be doing those types of teas. They really do suck up people and energy, the chi of the people around you. Here's a good trick. If you want to get the best out of your tea leaves, you can go like this in your gaiwan and then flip it around like that, and you can get an extra couple steeps just like that by flipping it over. Because oftentimes in the gaiwans, it goes narrow at the bottom, so the teas can't expand. But if you flip it over, then it works out. So that's a good trick. If you want to know a good trick for getting an extra steep or two out of your already finished ball rolled oolong. Alpine Red about 3 to 4 years ago was amazing. How is it now? I haven't tried it this year. The last couple of years, it hasn't been. It's been okay. But 3 or 4 years ago, yeah, was amazing. Now, the Alpine tea is a really special one because it's basically just one guy, and he's not really a tea maker. And so whenever his teas, like the organic Alpine series of teas, whenever they work out really well, so he doesn't really do it on purpose. And so sometimes that Alpine Red is the best of the year, and sometimes it doesn't work very well, and sometimes he doesn't even make it because the weather or whatever happens. I haven't sampled it this year. I'll probably sample it. I'll give him a call probably, I don't know, in the next couple of weeks and see how it is this year. But if you want something that's not quite as good, about 90% as good as it was 3 or 4 years ago, try the Alpine Red Honey. The Alpine Red Honey are really good. This year, it's really good. Now, it's not exactly the same because in Alpine, you get that buttery mouthfeel no matter what you do, if it's an organic garden in the Alpine terroir. And so you do have that, right? You got that amazing thing coming with that one 3 or 4 years ago. And the Chilai one doesn't really have that. It's a little bit lighter in the mid-mouth. But yeah, 85, 90%, the Alpine honey. The Alpine Red Honey is 80, 85, 90% of what that tea was 3 or 4 years ago. Obviously, that last 10% is the hardest 10% to get, obviously. But it's really good. It's really good, right? It's worthwhile. Okay, so and you would know, right? You pay attention to this stuff. So if 100% is 100% is last year's Chilai Black. This year's Chilai Black is about 97, 98%, 97, 96, 96, 97% of last year's Chilai Black. Maybe 95, depending on your mood when you brew it. That one batch of Alpine Red will be about 90 to 92%, around there. And then this year's Alpine Red Honey is a solid 83 to 85. Right, so you're looking at all the teas ever. So it's solid in the low 80s, right? If you're looking at all of those types of teas, and so that's the way you sort of look at it, I guess, would be the best way to rank those. Again, it's so hard to even begin to do anything like that, but that's how I would rank those teas, sort of in that frame of reference. And if you, but that hopefully that helps sort of get your expectations about where they should be. All right, so that's about where your expectations should be for all those teas, because that's my job. I need to throw out expectations and what people should expect. And I hope that people can trust my expectations and trust what I say, because that's all I got. That's all anybody's got. Integrity. And if I say this tea is really expensive but it's worth it, then people will trust me on it. But that's how I'd put it out there. The Alpine Red Honey has all of those same taste points, but it's a little bit more rooted, a little bit off on the floral side. Like the rose florals are much, much stronger, and the fruit stuff is a little bit less, and it's a little bit more rooted, right? It's just less high in the palate. Okay, so that works. Okay, great. Again, I'm drinking the Alpine Fall Honey, and I've been drinking it the whole time, and it's really good. it's still going. It's gorgeous. It really is. It's a beautiful tea. On the sweet side, I think out of the fall teas, I prefer this one. Out of all the fall teas, I think I like this one the best. And I probably should have bought more of it. I didn't buy all that much, but I mean, how much of that pent up demand for my largest market is actually going to come through when everything opens up again, right? I don't know. And so it's, everybody's in a tough spot. What's your opinion on yellow tea? Is it a real category of tea that is going out of existence? I will have to say I have no opinion on yellow tea because it is a Chinese tea, not a Taiwanese tea. I've had Taiwanese yellow tea, and it's sort of like, oh, okay. I am not an expert on yellow tea. I do not know the history other than, reading the Wikipedia entries on it. I can't really talk about it much, unfortunately. So I can't really tell you. I will say that there's a lot of gatekeeping that goes along with yellow tea, and a lot of people who say this is not real and that's not real and this is not. And I can also tell you that there's a lot of times where I've tried I don't know what to call it, a mid-oxidized green tea or a green tea that's been oxidized a little bit higher. And it sure has a lot of the taste points of a yellow tea. My guess is, and the way I think about yellow teas are sort of like there's a lot of teas in Taiwan that no, those are all too big. And the idea would be that there's so much different information about yellow teas that it would be really, really hard to have a firm idea about what it is and how it works without so many asterisks and comments and commas to start and to finish. And so I do know, many people have told me, there's a lot of really crappy yellow tea, like a lot. People trying to cash in on the name. And because there's so much crappy yellow tea, a lot of people have a rough time with the yellow tea, sort of getting into it and learning about it and all of that. So that's it. I don't know. You'd have to find a yellow tea expert, and I would be highly suspicious of anybody who is a yellow tea expert without saying all the caveats that I said before I started. That even if this person was a yellow tea expert, they would be like, well, let me tell you, yellow tea doesn't really mean anything. A lot of different people have different meanings of yellow tea. There's also different ways of making it. And anyways, good luck. If you find something out, then let me know. I probably won't ever have a yellow tea on the site just because of what I mentioned. And if I did, I'd probably call it like a high oxidized green tea, something like that. Or I'd call it a what would I call it? Not a high oxidized green tea, because that's not exactly what it is. It would be trying to think of a good mun. So I'm trying to think of a good a piled green tea. A humid piled green tea is probably what I would call it. To be heretical, of course. But anyways, I think that's we're getting close to the end there. Yeah. Does anybody have any last questions? Got great questions today. What types of teas do you enjoy during the day? So just to recap, what kinds of tea do you like during the day? Greenish oolongs in the morning until about noon, noon until 3 or 4. The black teas the red oolongs. And then I usually stop drinking tea at 4 o'clock because I'm pretty caffeine sensitive. And then I drink the herbal teas in the evening, but usually not in the summertime. What do you, the other one was how to store your teas in big bags. I like all the teas together. The darker teas that I want to age fast, high up, get them hot. Then the roasted teas, lower down, still get them hot. And then everything else, the green teas and things like that, usually in air conditioned, climate controlled. And then a lot of the green teas, the springtime green teas, in the fridge. And you should try that too if you got some greenish oolongs. Try it in the fridge, see if it lasts longer. The tariff stuff, Australia is opening up near the end of the month. And I've heard from good sources that in Taiwan, we're waiting for 5 different countries to open up to the United States. Then we will copy the 5th. We will copy it. We will copy whatever the 5th does. And so let's hope for more stuff coming out there. We will copy the 5th. We will copy the 5th country dealing with these whatever. And yeah, this was the thank you to everybody who is buying the teas. If you're able to, you're keeping the lights on. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And if you are going to buy tea, the Alpine series of teas are great. They really are. And this is the Alpine Fall Honey. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Wherever you are in the world, I certainly hope you have an amazing morning, evening. Hope your day went well. I hope you sleep well and have a great day tomorrow. I hope you're having a wonderful wake up, and I hope your day today is spectacular. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next live stream.